Psalm 125, and the theme is trust. But it's not that the Jews are trusting God. Rather, it's an admonition from God to do so. God is advising them that they have a part to play in all of this. He will supply the power for sure, but they must access that power by trusting him. It may even be a gentle rebuke because they are not trusting him, but still relying upon their own resources. Let's read the first 3 verses. They who trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. I love that word cannot. It's not just shall not be moved, they cannot be removed. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people from henceforth even forever. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. Well, this is obviously God speaking. He's exhorting them. He's stirring them up to trust him, even though things do look bad. Sure, they feel insecure, and so God tells them that trust will make them as immovable as Mount Zion. He himself is as solid as Mount Zion, as the mountains that surround Jerusalem. And he surrounds his people forever. The people should prepare themselves practically, yes, but it's those who trust in the Lord who shall not be disturbed inwardly, nor removed from the land, referred to here as the lot of the righteous. God is insistent that the people he chose thousands of years previously do not act like the nations, but become a witness to the reality of God to the unbelieving world. They were chosen to be such witnesses, and that's both a privilege and a responsibility, and that speaks to us as Christians. Look at the next couple of verses. Do good, O Lord, unto those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. As for such as turn aside unto their crooked ways, the Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel. Now this appears to be a prayer from the Jews, asking God to do good unto them because they have sought to be upright. Now the Hebrew word used here is yashar, and from that we get the name shor, which is an ox. Now the reason for this is that an ox is able to plough a straighter line than any other animal. And so Israel is saying, in effect, they've tried to live a straight life. They've tried to plough a straight line. And this word is contrasted in the next verse with crooked, and this means devious. Their neighbours, quote, turn aside, unquote, from ploughing a straight line, living a straight life. This is going to be the experience of the Jews throughout the time of Jacob's trouble. Remember the expression in Psalm 120, I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. In their dealings with the nations far away and closer to home, they will strive to be reliable and true, to adhere to agreements, but the other parties will not usually be so honest. Even as I prepared this video, a ceasefire was agreed between Israel and Hamas, and it's been broken. Hamas predictably blames Israel, but it's Israeli soldiers that have been injured. So how does that work? Duplicity and treachery is all part of the final lap of Israel's history in this age, but God is round about his people from henceforth, even forevermore. Now this is Israel's secret, and this is the church's secret. God is round about his people, the one who established Mount Zion in eternity, the Jerusalem above, with its apostles as foundations and the tribes of Israel as gates of pearl, has similarly established everyone who trusts in him. This will be Israel's secret in the storms to come, but a vital component is Israel's response to this fact, and for that matter, our own response. You see, we are talking about trust, the theme of this psalm. The dictionary defines trust. Firm belief in the reliability, truth, or ability of someone or something. The knowledge that God is round about his people will be a blessing that never ceases to give, as they say. When they are enduring Jacob's trouble, they are to become increasingly aware of divine protection, and the nations will become aware of this phenomenon, and the thoughtful ones among them will give praise to God as a result. God's guaranteed presence, together with the prospect of a war of annihilation with the Antichrist forces, will regenerate the seeds of faith in Jewish hearts. We're already seeing this in the Gaza conflict. Many are returning to traditional Judaism. It's not Jesus yet, that's true, but it's a step along the road. It's the softening of the heart to seek God and to trust God. The distress that they will experience will cripple their confidence in their own prowess. The power of the holy people will begin to break, as Daniel predicted, but it is God who will bring them to this moment, and he will not fail them. Do you recall the three friends of Daniel who were thrown into the fiery furnace? Very famous story. The king, Nebuchadnezzar, looked into the furnace and saw, quote, one like a son of the gods walking around with them, unquote. Now, it only records that the unbelieving king saw the divine figure. No one else saw it, apparently. Maybe even the three friends didn't see him. We don't need, you see, to see God for him to be with us. In fact, blessed are those who haven't seen but believe. Whatever the case, I believe the furnace story to be both a fact and a metaphor for Israel's struggles in these last days. The unbelievers will be stunned to see that God is round about them, that God is with them through the fire. And this will be an opportunity for unbelievers to repent of their sins and be saved. Hearts will be softened and a great harvest is possible. The psalm speaks of the rod of the wicked and those who turn aside unto their crooked ways and the workers of iniquity. Just doesn't sound very promising. But the psalm is sealed with these beautiful words of promise. But peace shall be upon Israel. I like the word upon rather than in Israel because it seems to direct us to the source of our blessing. The source is God upon us. Those who try to write off Israel during the tribulation are in for a big shock. Israel's trust, like ours, may not be perfect, but the God of Israel is. Shalom Shalom Yisrael. Pray for the peace of Israel.